It's a new year, and I am here, Boogie Ogoon, bonding with Boogie in a precious perspective. It is your host, Boogie Ogoon. Him a thee, him for knee, him the G, him who doesn't hide, him who seeks, him with the shortest arms, him still with the longest reach, and of course, my boy.
Precious with a precious perspective, and per usual, it's always an honor, pleasure, and all those good things to be down here with you, brother. We got my boy Real Duncan on the board,
For sure.
and as you said, it's a new year, man. It feel good to see another one. You know what I'm saying? Know that we finna made it through. 2025 had its
Shit was very
bumps
quick.
and whatever. Man,
Shit was quick.
yeah.
All this shit's getting quick.
Yeah, the fact that this was January 8th, I feel like whenever I really gauge the year by how quick January go by. I feel like when January drag, I feel like the rest of the year kind of follow suit. But last year, January flew. Seems like this year, that shit's about to fly. We finna go through another one. You
For
know
sure.
what I'm saying? But yeah, how you feeling?
I'm well. It's a new year, man. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Just as far as the art of the new year. And like once you get past the fireworks and, making promises that you may or may not keep. How to me, New Year's is just we people say new year, new me. Stop saying that shit. It's no new you. You're still the same person. Instead, people should use, better me
Yeah, for sure.
or unbetter. Your ass may have got worse than last year, cause nigga, just because it's a new year, you don't be
you
better,
no
or
better.
you don't become a
Yeah.
better person. So like I said, and just knowing that just because it's the new year, make it a year, but it might not be your year still. Meaning like just because it's a new year, it's always good to thrive. It's always good to work hard, but it's also good to know that, it comes maybe next year or the year after next. Everybody has their year where things fall into place.
Yeah.
And things, and like I said, it's always good to become better every year or to work harder or strive harder or thrive for things. So like I said, just knowing that it might be this year, it might be next year, it might be 5 years from now. You don't know. But just knowing that as long as you have good intent and you're working towards whatever, the new you, or like I would say, the better you is, that's all that matters.
Nah, I believe that wholeheartedly. I think that even in regard to the bettering you and evolving, like you said, every year, I believe to a degree, if you have learned, gained, it is a new you. If you're able to apply the principles that you've truly gathered throughout the past year, it serves as kind of like when we used to play video games. It serves as a check mark to where it's like, I bet I'm starting from here. So all this shit that I've gathered within the past year, hopefully you can find a way to apply it to the new year so that you ain't got to start from zero each and every time. And I think that more so than anything, the idea of manifestation always comes at the beginning of the year, and that's where you get the goals and the idea of new me, because people get that idea of wanting to elevate, wanting to thrive, wanting to grow, and I think that is good. But I think that we also got to pay attention to the fact that, like you said, sometimes, especially context considering, the new year falls in the dead beginning of winter, like the season. So a lot of times in the wintertime, it ain't really too much bussing, flowing. Life isn't really given in the winter. It's a lot of death in that season. So a lot of times I feel like motherfuckers set those goals or set those ideas
It's a
in a
wintertime
space
goals.
of trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you gonna only do it until it die out in the wintertime. And then by the time spring, summer, all that different type of shit come, you
Back
burnt
outside,
out.
boy.
You know what I'm saying? Doing the
Let
other
it
shit.
slide.
Yeah, so it's like, I think that, again, being comfortable in yourself and knowing that I bet it is things that I want to change and do that I can implement going into the new year, I feel like why not? I feel like fresh manifestations at the beginning of the year is always a great way to start. You know what I'm saying? Because you know at least what direction you headed in. You ain't coming into it blindsided. So I ain't never gone, and that's not to say that that's what you were saying, but never gone down a motherfucker for trying to be a new version. If you trying to be a new version of yourself, so fucking be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but make attempts that are
and I was just saying like the better you is just a better, like I
a
said,
better way to explain it.
because you throw out the new shit, and if you don't be new, it just look bad.
Niggas is checking.
So you know what I'm saying?
I recognize you.
New
Nigga.
is crazy. Better is like, oh, okay, I see improvement. I see, and if you ain't, you still the same. You on the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, and like I said, some things are just you. So some things you're going to be you. Some things won't change. And like I said, the key thing I feel like is when you make those New Year resolutions, is discipline, because overall that's one thing that I know. If you're disciplined, you can pretty much do anything, because you are disciplined. Is a different type of focus. It's a different type of craving. It's a different type of thrive. It's a different type of hustle. It's a different type of, when you disciplined and chasing whatever goal or whatever accomplishment, you gotta be disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's that's key. Just staying focused for real. So coming into the New Year's and making those resolutions or goals, or just becoming better you, and whether that's your health, whether that's your financials, whether that's it's discipline. It's learning to eat at the crib, not spending money on outside food. It's health, learning not to drink so much throughout the week, learning to eat a little cleaner. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, discipline is key to accomplishing, like I say, everyday goals. You know what I'm saying? Versus, just yearly goals. Like I say, discipline is how that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's how you truly turn those goals into reality, by remaining consistent. And I think that is why your statement of, rather than new year, new me, leaning more so into a better me, makes sense, because you can do something over and over and over again to gain a better understanding, a more thorough understanding. And I think that through that consistency, there is, again, like you say, is not a new more so than an evolved. And so that evolution may look different, or to some look new, but I think to the person that's going through it, like you said, certain characteristics are always you. You always gonna be who you are, unique within the creator. So it's like you being able to maybe expand on versions of you through your discipline is always a dope thing. So I ask you, is there anything in particular that you're looking to be like more disciplined about this year?
Health, saving, I, gambling. I told myself I throw away too much money gambling. I looked at how much I spent gambling, and it was like, bro, the things I could have done with that money if I wasn't gambling. So I'm not even gonna speak on how much it is. Drinking. Just I feel like as far as health wise, I do have a certain discipline. I cheat, whatever. But as far as I know what to do to get my body right and in shape, and I feel like alcohol is probably like the thing that's been stopping that, like for like fully, you know what I'm saying, stopping me from getting to where I want to be as far as, and for my body goes. I don't really, it's nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? But just as far as slimmer stomach, like I say, I know the alcohol and the craving after alcohol. You want something greasy, you want something, you know what I'm saying? It be 9, 10, 11 at
Yeah,
night,
soak
you know
that
what I'm
shit up.
saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So going to sleep damn near right after that, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, but for real though, saving, like to, finances saving and like I said, better health for real. The same things I, really been trying to do. But like I said, just having that discipline to, just do the shit. So like I said, today I had a drink for sure.
Sure.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna try not to have one.
Me.
And like I said, with my health, alcohol play a key role. Cause when I drink, I'm gonna need something to eat eventually. And the 9 times out of 10 is gonna be BS. You
Yeah.
feel me? So I cut the lick out. That cuts out maybe some of those crazy cravings for, the bullshit. Maybe I just be able to eat one hearty, healthy meal a day, drink my water per usual, and, snack, here and there. But, like I said, I know what to do. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So it's just about,
And I like that. I was having a conversation recently, and my homie was like, they feel away because it seemed like some of their goals are the same goals from years prior. And I kind of shifted the perspective for him in the sense that I believe that, so say weight may be somebody's new year. Okay, bet I want to stay consistent with getting to a certain weight. Like your journey may not end within that year. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
2026 may be the year that you want to accomplish it and that you're going to take it serious. But 2026 may not be the time that is going to reflect on the scale type shit. But as long as, again, to your point, as you're making a conscious effort and decision to find the discipline to make it a thing every year until it's not, because that's the biggest thing, understanding that our lives are really predicated upon the effort we put forth to the things that we deem important. Of course, it's laws and shit that we gotta abide by, but for the most part, when you wake up in the morning, outside of any psychological deficiencies or mental health ailments, you really make your own decisions every day. And so if you're choosing to find ways to upgrade your life and better yourself, that shit may not happen just because you read a self-help book at the end of 2025 and now you wake up January 1st and like, all right, my life's about to get better. Nah, like it's a thing where it's the shit that you was doing throughout 2025, 2024, even years prior, they play a role. And like you said, if it's finna be a new year, new you, or even a new year, better you. If you was a fuck nigga in 2025 and you ain't changed none of them lame
Stay a
ass
fuck
habits,
nigga, your mama,
man, you hear me?
yeah.
Like nothing, there's nothing that you alter. There's no behavioral alteration. So why would this be a new year or a better year for you if you creating the same habits? And I think for me, discipline that I want to implement, I think I want to start going more so with my first mind. I feel like I second guess a lot of things and it causes me to waste time and not be as effective as I possibly can. And I think that by eliminating that and just start attacking things directly, being more confrontational. And I think people hear the word confrontation and think problem, issue, and it's none of that. It's really just being aware of something and making others aware of it. You're confronting it. You're stepping in the line of fire so that anything that happens, you can be aware and abreast of, and you won't be taken off guard. And I think that's where a lot of my issues came in years prior, me looking not to confront certain things or people, situations, whatever, and waiting for them to catch up with me on the back end. And then it's like, now you dealing with all this dumb shit that if you would have just mentioned from the get-go. I look at recently, two opportunities that I had at the gallery, whereas one waited on the back end to disclose some information and shit didn't work out. Motherfucker tweaked on me, all type of shit. Similar situation came about, and I expressed something early on and let a motherfucker know, hey, this was going on, da 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 da. I jumped in front of the issue before it could become an issue. That way, if a motherfucker was to come, hey, this what it was, this what it's been, this what I told you. You can't really tell me about me at that point. And so I think that, again, for me personally, looking into new year, better me, it'll come from, like you said, that discipline and knowing like, hey, you can knock a lot of bullshit out the way if you just stand up to it quick. You ain't gotta wait it out and let it come to you, so to speak. So I think that a lot of people, and coming into the new year, we look to manifest, we look to want to be better, but I think that's an attitude that you got to take with longevity. And so, again, another question, like, when you setting your goals or setting the things that you say that you are going to attempt to do, what's your process of building toward it? Like, are you a person who can just cut shit cold turkey and be like, all right, I ain't doing that no more? Or
I'm that type of guy.
Okay.
If like I say, I've been disciplined before. I've done things that I thought I couldn't do that I've done before. So and like I said, I'm the type of nigga feel like I can do whatever the fuck I feel and want. So me being able to cut off habits, especially habits, I'm not gonna say that are most of them are unbeneficial habits. You know what I'm saying? So to cut them off wouldn't be hard. And there's other shit to do. You know what I'm saying? Or not do. So like I said, and even just with making new goals and new I also remember with new goals and new years, there is also new trauma, new death, new problems, new, as much as we go into the new year wanting better yourselves, new you, new this, that, it also comes with the bad shit. You know what I'm saying? Your year could start off bad with, Lord forbid, just something random happens, and we don't have to speak on what type of situations or just whatever. But just being prepared, just being locked in to the point where like, as much as you going into the new year and you like, it's the new year, the new me, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You will. I believe that you will. But there will be things that try to stop your performance. There will be things that try to block your vision. So just even going into the new year's, just be prepared. And like I said, you could go, the year could be great. You know what I'm saying? The year could be smooth. The year could be, but things happen at random. Things are, that's just how life works. And we've seen it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, just be prepared. Just be mentally locked. Just, expect the unexpected, as hard as that may seem and sound. And it's like, damn, I just gotta expect the unexpected. But yes, because it be unexpected shit happening. Yeah. So just like I say, I want everybody to reach their goals. I want everybody to gain and reach those accomplishments, but I also want everybody to not be blindsided and naive to the fact that every year we do the new year, new thing, and and for some reason, at the end of every year, people are still saying on the internet and stuff like, you can leave 2024 where it was at. You can leave 2025 with, because shit happened. People lost people. People, you know what I'm saying? It didn't go as planned. You know what I'm saying? So just going back to that, just knowing, like I said, how we said earlier, that all of the years play a part into the year that is actually going to be the one for you. Your past plays that part in the footwork and the outline that you laid in the trial and turmoil that you went through within that time, within building yourself up and getting yourself back right up until now. So like I said, don't just don't have a bad year and don't even call it a bad year. Just call it a learning year,
Yeah.
a learning experience, a year that, was tougher than other years. And like I said, you grow from every year.
It boils down ultimately to showing grace. I feel like grace is a component in life that is certain things that I look at, certain characteristics that we as humans possess that I truly consider superpowers. And I feel like grace is one of those superpowers because you can use it as a weapon when you don't show grace, when you take grace away from a person, but you can also, and showing somebody grace, it's like, damn, you could save a life for real, for real. And even in doing for yourself, I think a lot of times when we set goals, we don't give that grace period. How like when you show up, you for an appointment, it's like, all right, you got 15 minutes to be late. That's your grace period. I feel like a lot of times when we set stuff up, we don't grant ourselves that grace period. And then when we fall short of said goals, you just crash out. You don't know what to do because in your mind, when you set the goal, you didn't know, you didn't plan for not accomplishing. And so when you don't accomplish, sometimes it's easy to be like, all right, fuck it. I ain't do it right, so I ain't gonna do it at all. Whereas if you would have granted yourself grace to make mistakes or again with other people, I think that that's something I ain't gonna stunt. I personally believe that the grace I grant is one of the reasons that I receive the blessings and the karma that I do because I feel like it's a lot of shit that I could take personal and whatever when I interact with people, but I really just be like, oh yeah, nah, that's a motherfucker having this type of day, or that's a person doing this, or I ain't seeing you like that. Cause again, if you don't offer a sense of grace, I feel like you're living in such a rigid lifestyle that don't give no way for flexibility or for anything to happen that anything could set you off. Like you really not in control of your own. How nigga on Juice told his ass, I got more control over your life than you. Like when you living ungracefully and you moving in that way, you don't really got no true control to your life because any person can say something or put you in a position to risk all that you have type shit. So I feel like understanding that, like you said, things happen. You can say that, hey, I'm waking up and I'm doing this tomorrow. You ain't anticipate your baby mama needing you to pick this up or your job laying you off because and when that shit happen, is you just gonna chalk it up to being like, all right, the rest of my year fucked or the rest of my life fucked because this, that. I ain't gonna even stunt. I ain't gonna put his business out on camera. I talked to a mutual yesterday, a mutual medicine man that we know.
Okay.
And he was telling me he lost his gig recently. And since he lost said gig, shit actually been looking up for him. You know what I'm saying? Like he been able to move in certain ways and do shit that he wasn't necessarily able to do while he was working. You know what I'm saying? Well, the niggas being honest or not to be determined. That's
Facts.
up to whatever. But, and I'm saying it to say, understanding that a lot of times, even in those misfortunes that we think we may have, you can find the blessing in them if you choose to see the grace in said situation. Like if you choose to be like, I bet this job ain't my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So I can move around and do something else. I can realign myself. I think that when we set these New Year's goals or goals in general, whether it's because I've learned to start kind of not necessarily creating quarterly goals, but doing, like I said, quarterly check-ins with myself to see if I'm progressing in a way that I said I may have wanted to be doing at the beginning of the year. Am I reading as much, or am I putting out as much content as I said out? Like just looking at different shit to be like, I bet, nah, this might not be a year that you accomplish this goal. And that's okay, nigga. Cause at the end of the day, as long as you putting energy forth toward what you saying you gonna do, what can anybody tell you about you? And that's really all I'm here to give, for real, for real. I can only give what I got. And so if that's what I'm giving through these different proclamations of me being better and me wanting to be a newer, different version of myself, it's like, I bet all I got is my word. So I'm gonna stick to that and find ways to practice that. And so are there any new practices, hobbies, things that you looking to get into this year, or that you might want to be doing, or you just want to keep sharpening where you been at?
Keep sharpening where I've been at, and just as far as the craft, just get out here and start doing more. I was thinking about doing a little showcase for the first, bringing in the new year. You know what I'm saying? A little, just to let motherfuckers know we still out here, we still do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Getting more in tune with just have people having me come speak and doing shows live and shit like that. So other than that, like I say, just finances, taking care of these kids, just sharpening up on everything, and just waiting on my turn. My turn, it always comes around.
Yeah.
So,
And I feel like, did you have anything else really?
nope.
Yeah, I was about to say, keeping it short and sweet, with a precious perspective, understanding it's always your turn. It's not, as long as you got breath in your lungs, it's not never your turn. It's not never your opportunity to do something that will be conducive to your life and or lifestyle. I truly believe that we as human beings are time travelers, just in a sense of being able to sit down and think about your past, your present, and your future. You're traveling in those moments to see who you were. You can go back to when you was in your mid 20s and say, "Oh yeah, I remember doing shit like this that 2026 me would never do." You know what I'm saying? Or I need to get back to the version of me that was doing something like this. And I feel like as long as we have those points of reference within ourselves, and as well as other people, to trustworthy people to keep us accountable and keep us aligned with who we are, again, is a child of the Most High, is always your turn. And I think that every day, every year, every minute, we got to wake up knowing that we have the ability to impact ourselves as well as those around us. And with that being said, it's a wrap.